Welcome back, viewers, to another exciting episode of Chat SDG. Today, we have the privilege of learning about sustainability and innovation with none other than Stephen W. Pearce. Stephen's insights into ESG, CSR, and circular economy have truly broadened our understanding of how businesses and organizations can navigate the complex landscape of sustainability to drive positive change. So, without further delay, let's welcome Stephen. Hello, Stephen. How are you?
Well, Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. May the peace and blessing of God Almighty be upon everyone that's listening to this conversation. I'm very happy that you allowed me to be to have this conversation with you on your platform, that so we could educate people on the importance of the SDGs and ESG. And I hope that everybody listening today could learn and benefit from our conversation today, inshallah.
Hurrah, hurrah. All right, then. So, jumping straight into our questions to you, Stephen, given that the growing emphasis on ESG in organizations, tell us how can they effectively integrate ESG into their business strategies, and what role does comprehensive reporting play in this process?
So first of all, a company should have the willpower in order to implement ESG into their strategy, which I think is being driven by the need for investors to want this as well, anyways, because ESG reporting is basically for investors. So with that being said, the most important thing is to have accurate statistics, accurate data, because your report is only as good as the data. And a company might feel like that they might be a little bit short. They're not doing some things, but they should stay away from greenwashing. Anything that they're short in, they should look at this as an opportunity to improve on. If they can't get certain data because of certain situations, they should say this in their ESG reports. This is very important, but they should make sure that they should be as accurate as possible.
Stephen, I understand data is critical for any decision making, and ESG data helps in taking critical decisions. Can you tell our viewers how can businesses adopt circular economy principles, and what benefits can they derive from incorporating upcycling practices into their operations?
So it starts with the executives wanting to adopt circular economy. Then they have to work with their engineers and their research and development departments in order to try to find out the best practices based upon their industry. So they should try to extract the resources in the best manners. They should make sure that the resources could be used for upcycling and for recycling. They should try to have products that could extend the life, and then when the products come back or the resources come back, they should be able to extract the raw materials when they're recycling in order to remanufacture to something else. They should try to eliminate waste. So imagine if you could go from 20% waste to 2% or 1%, you actually increase your revenues anyway. So they should also try to make sure they use the practices that have the least amount of environmental impact.
Stephen, having worked on sustainable development projects for entities such as the Tunisian Ministry of Environment and the African Development Bank, how do you ensure sustainability compliance in projects, and what challenges do you typically encounter in global development landscape?
Okay, so basically, like let's say you have a project that the World Bank or the IMF is funding or the AFD is funding. There's going to be key performance indicators, anyways, that like the government or the organization should have within their project. So they should make sure that they're living up to these key performance indicators. So otherwise, you're not going to get the funding for the project anyways. Also, now a lot of projects require a Dun and Bradstreet number, and even with Dun and Bradstreet, there's ESG grades that are there. So like before they could get a project funded, they should have an ESG report that actually shows that they have a high grade, which is important as well. But so like banks, investment banks, they want to make sure that that projects that they're funding follow the ESG methodologies and they're getting ESG grades. So really, it's the banks that are driving the need for the ESG based upon the key performance indicators necessary to be successful in their project.
Such a comprehensive response. Thank you so much, Stephen, for elaborating what is necessary for making a connect with the supporting agencies. To our next question, then, in your extensive experience, you've highlighted the importance of ESG for banking institutions. Now, this is very unique. All I knew about was BCP is important for banking, but ESG becoming critical. Could you elaborate on specific challenges and opportunities that banks face aligning with ESG principles, especially considering the changing dynamics in financial service industry?
It's interesting you say that it's the changing dynamics because one of the key drivers of companies having ESG reports are banks. Banks are actually requiring organizations to have ESG reports because they want to fund projects that have the less risk from climate to environmental. So imagine you have an organization that's in an area that maybe they're subject to a lot of fires, high fires or flooding. So what is the organization doing in order to try to alleviate or lessen the impacts of if there's a fire or if there's a flood, or what are they doing to lessen their carbon emissions? So it's the banks that are driving the need for ESG reports, which I find it very interesting.
Stephen, as someone who's leading his own initiative, an entrepreneur, a CEO, how do you see the role of innovation in driving sustainable practices? Are there emerging trends or technologies that you believe that will play an important role in shaping the future of sustainability and ESG consulting?
So every day I'm seeing new technologies that are emerging. So it would take me hours just to talk about the new technology. So I will say this. I think that one is like the spatial web and the internet 3.0 and artificial intelligence coming together to make reporting and sustainability type of sustainability easy for like example for like farmers or for manufacturers. But I think another key aspect as well is that you could take trap carbon from either from wastewater, from the air, solidify it, turn it into a graphene, and then the graphene in turn could be used to make more efficient batteries. It could be used to make superconductors. There's so many things that graphene could be used. Right now, it's a little bit costly, but as more companies and organizations implement the technologies that turn the carbon into a graphene, the pricing will go down.
Absolutely. Thank you, Stephen, for sharing your wisdom and expertise with us. Your passion for sustainability and commitment to driving positive change serves as a beacon of hope for a brighter and more sustainable future for our generations to come. And to our viewers, thank you for joining us on this journey of exploration and discovery. Stay tuned for more thought provoking conversations on Chat SDG, where we continue to explore the potential of innovation in realizing sustainable development goals by 2030. Until next time, stay inspired, stay engaged. Namaskar.